Hello, people. Today I have Jesse.A.Davey, and we're going to have a quick run through, which we haven't done for about 15 years, maybe 14 years, of his setup. Last done at the Lantern, I think, in about 97, 98, I think, but I'm not sure. But here's a quick up-to-date run through of Jesse's rig today, which has not really changed a lot apart from all that there, but the amps and stuff has not changed a lot really, but subtle differences, which I'll hand over to Jess, and he might give us a quick run through of what has changed and what hasn't. Over to Magic Fingers.
What do you want to know?
We'll start from the effects and then work the way back.
Okay.
Hang on, we'll start from the fingers. Jesse's fingers are...
These are standard issue Homo sapien fingers.
And they sort of move around on this lovely ornate guitar. What's that with the guitar actually, which is a... You say, Jess?
Yeah, well this is a guitar neck built by Howard Robinson. He's sort of a master guitar builder, and it's sort of beautifully inlaid, and on the back it's just a really high quality piece of work, and he makes guitars and guitar necks, and they really are very, very fine indeed.
Well said. And
he goes on the name Lindsay Wilson
these
guitars.
Are available to purchase. If you search out Lindsay Wilson guitars.com or something like that, I'm sure you'll find him on the web.
Yeah.
And in other forms. And from there we shall go to the effects. Extravaganza.
This one is just a fuzz pedal that I make and sell. Actually, it's just a Jesse.A.Davey vintage fuzz. So it's based upon the old vintage fuzz pedals, but it's got a few tweaks here and there just to give it a much fatter, kind of smoother sound. Works particularly well for kind of blues lead and sort of blues rhythm.
And then into...
it's an Octaland. Again, this is another one of my pedals. It's an Octavia, so it produces a high octave. But with the settings rolled right down, you get an almost completely clean high octave. And then if you wind them up, you get much more sort of Hendrix full on. So It just gives me like a clean high octave.
And that goes into this little number.
This fuzz pedal I built especially for one of the songs on the album, which was called Let It Shine, which is basically, it's like a really out of control fuzz pedal. It just produces a really kind of almost like a noise.
It's a nice noise though.
Yeah.
And that goes into
probably goes into this next, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Which I've just got on a true bypass switch here.
True bypass.
Because it's not properly true bypass in the pedal. So this it's just kind of like I've got it set so it's pretty full on. It's kind of a cross between the fuzz pedal and
which is wearing a vintage tube overdrive, which is...
I'm just trying it on this tour.
It's just trying it out.
I might not be using it on the next tour, but it's kind of a fat sound. It's kind of fun for one or two songs.
And then
probably into the tremolo next, which is I just use it as a straight tremolo, but it works pretty well.
And then
Tube Screamer, which is a standard 808 vintage Tube Screamer, which I can change the settings quite a lot during the gig depending on which song it is. Sometimes I have the overdrive right down and just use it as a bit of a boost. For heavier lead, I'll bring the overdrive up a little bit. But,
and then into this, which is quite special, isn't it?
This
I found out today.
Wow! This is the best wow pedal ever made. Basically, it's sort of tested to extreme levels and
extreme levels.
Yeah.
Would you like to expand on that?
Well, do you want to film the front tag on it?
So,
actually, it does have the address on it. There you go, www. Mukonawa and Mukonawa and it's the best wah-wah you can buy. Literally, it's got such an amazing sound. If you use it fully back, a lot of wah-wahs can sound really mushy, but this you still get a really nice sound even when it's rocked all the way back.
Yeah, I can certainly vouch for that.
And the guy who makes these, such a nice guy. He's so enthusiastic, and he really takes these to the highest quality. Sort of tests them to sort of NASA standards.
NASA standards?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. So this is, if you want the best wow, that's the one to get.
And then into
just a delay, a TC Electronics flashback delay pedal, and I don't use it a lot, but just occasionally, just a little bit of delay. It's quite fun.
the shadow's getting there. Yeah, there it is. And then it goes. We've missed this little fella out here in the middle.
Yeah, something my brother gave me. It's just like a harmonizer pedal, and
It's a Moore.
Yeah.
Very sort of new lining pedals that do all sorts, don't they?
Yeah, it's just there. It just does a crazy sound when I turn it on.
Crazy sound.
Yeah.
Like it. And that's virtually it.
The
Power
Leslie
supply.
switch is there.
Leslie switch.
High and low
Which
speed.
Goes into.
Do you want to talk about the guitar pickups?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the guitar.
These are actually Bluebird pickups, which again are ones I've built myself, and you can buy them. They're Bluebird.
KingToneGuitar.com.
Yeah, and so these are they're kind of based on, again, a very vintage, sort of more of an underwound sound. So it actually produces a much fatter sound. When you overwind a pickup, it can get a bit thin. It gets very sort of harsh, and you lose some nice clear low end. So these are, kind of vintage spec pickups with a little extra.
You're on.
And then this is a Kingtone switch, which again you can get. I do sell these, but it's basically that's completely flat, and as you start to wind this down, you start to get a much thicker. It's not a normal tone control by any means, but you get. The only way I can describe it is it's kind of humbuckery. You get a very kind of Albert King kind of bite, edgy tone when you start to wind this down. So you get a really tubey, fat tone. I normally set it on 2 back.
Nice.
Then it goes into the quad reverb, which is driving the Leslie cabinet.
Trusty Leslie with a EV 200 watt driver.
Yeah, I normally set that pretty bright. Quite a lot of reverb.
And that purely just drives a Leslie, which hasn't changed in ages.
That's probably what I was using, yeah.
Leslie 18.
Yep. It's got an EV10M.
EV10M driver. And your trusty.
This is, I love this amp.
Favourite amp probably of all time.
It's been so heavily modified. In fact, that's what this next amp is based on. Is a lot of the work that I did on this amp was
originally a Super 6, Fender Super 6.
Yeah, so it's chopped down. It's now got 4 EVM 10Ms in it. I've removed a lot of the circuitry and also adjusted a lot of this. My Leslie cabinet's going crazy. It's just got a really bitey, edgy tone to it, which I really like. So,
and then this little number.
Yeah, so I took a lot of the modifications I did on the Fender, and then created a monster version of that amp, which is, it's basically a 100 watt head. It's very powerful. It breaks up, quite well. It's got huge transformers in it, so you get a massive low end. It's just a great amp. I mean, it really produces the kind of power of the tone in a way.
And these hand-built monster of an amplifier are available.
Yeah, well, I mean, I build the electronics and the insides, and then again, Howard Robinson builds these amazing, beautiful cabinets for them. So,
John Keefe.
Yeah, that's exactly. John Keefe builds the chassis, and he does an incredible job as well. It's a team effort.
And these do have to be heard to be believed, and I can certainly vouch for that. And that's just into Fender 4B12 cabinet,
It is, but that again has EV 12Ls in it.
which sound really sweet.
Yeah, they're just a very powerful speaker and it produces quite a crisp, cool tone.
Splitter box,
Yep,
own design.
a straight passive splitter box. Just basically 1 into 6.
And then this has changed since all those years ago. We've got THD hot plates.
Yes, it just helps to, you know, depending on the size on the big venues, I don't need to use them, but on these, if the venue's a little bit smaller, then I just use those. You can just control the volume a little bit, so it doesn't, you know, completely destroy you.
So, and that is an up-to-date version. So we'd like to thank Mr JD. And do we get a little sample?
I've actually got it all turned off.
He's got it all turned off.
Do you want me to turn it on?
We'll turn it on quickly to
Yeah.
give the
Turn it on.
people a little. Oh.
Right, there's a lead down there actually. It's a good job we found this out before I did you. Don't keep this on.
We have a gremlin.
It's not doing it now.
Sweet. And there you go.
I have to fix that crackle. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.